Okay, Virginia, I have an icon that says we're live on YouTube.
I think this is going to work. I'm just trying to make sure the one time I had feedback. So if we get any, then I'm going to call in. So I think we're okay. Okay, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. I'd like to welcome everyone to our Tuesday, June 1st meeting. We didn't have a meeting in May, so we have some things to catch up on. Anyway, on our agenda, we see that number one is adoption of minutes. May I have a mover to accept the minutes? Robert? And may I have a seconder?
I'll second. Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Okay. Now, do we need to do an all in favor?
Yeah, everybody can do a show of hands, or if they're not in favor, they can speak up.
Okay. All right. Item number 2 on our agenda, a declaration of pecuniary interest. Anyone have anything to declare? And no one is mentioning. We'll move on to item number 3, adoption of agenda. Everyone's had a chance to look at the agenda. May I have a mover, please? Robert again, thank you. And a seconder?
Susan.
Thank you, Susan. And all in favor? Okay, item number 4 on our agenda is business arising. I would defer to Virginia.
We don't have any business arising from the minutes, so we can move on to subcommittee or task force updates.
Okay. Item number 4 is our subcommittee and task force updates. 5.1 is a STAC update. Things that have been happening with STAC. STAC still has not had a meeting since pretty much our COVID thing started. We are planning to attempt a meeting hopefully in June. We'll keep you posted on that. But I would like to report that the Sioux Cycling Club has been very effective in their fundraising. I know in our May meeting or in our April meeting, we talked about them launching their fundraising campaign to fund the Finn Hill mountain bike project. Ideally, they would like to raise about $150,000. They can build the trail with $60,000. It would just be a basic trail. Actually, to date, they just published a newsletter today. They are at $83,950. And that will give them more features to build into their 3-kilometer flow trail. Things are going very well. They've secured someone to construct the trail, Boreal Trail Builders out of Quebec. They're scheduled to build the trail in late September or October. So basically, it looks like they may possibly get even closer to their goal of $150,000. But it's pretty exciting that there's been that much support in the community. I also received this newsletter today from the newsletter communications director, Cindy Pruce, which I will take I will forward it to all of our committee members. There's some interesting things in it with the cycling club, and it's they're very keen and have become very organized in terms of trying to augment and improve our trail system. And I'd always like to also note that Sioux Today had that survey on recreation in the community, and Jen sent it all to us. It was interesting to take a look at, but the Hub Trail and More Trails scored highest in that requirement or request from what people thought in the community. So I think it's a pretty positive thing that's happening. You see the nice weather is here, and the Hub Trail is a very busy place with both walkers and hikers, and and cyclists. So it's all very positive. Anyone have any questions at all? Robert?
Yes, I got disturbed by my wife. How much was that money they fundraised?
They have raised $83,950 to date.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Item number 5.2 on our subcommittees is the Sports Hall of Fame. I think we'll hear from Mark, please.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah, so we recently had a meeting, Sports Hall of Fame. It was actually a very productive one. Margaret had a great idea. In the past, we have given out a medal to the recipients, right, of the who get in the Hall of Fame. And her idea was, because we've actually had requests in the past of getting a duplicate plaque made that we'll give to the inductee, and then they can display it in their home. And it just makes a lot of sense because people want that plaque that's be similar to the one that's in the John Rhodes, which is great. And we were even talking about the ceremony when you're giving out the awards to the inductee. It's kind of awkward when you're giving the medallion, then they've got the plaque, but then we have to take the plaque back. This way we can give it to the person, they can have it with their family and friends at their table, right? And it was a great idea by Margaret. And so our committee is recommending that we go forward with that, which is, I think it's a great idea. We're still we're planning for a virtual award ceremony in November. But Margaret told us that if we have the possibility of going in person, and our committee would like to go in person if we can, or it could be a blended thing, some in person, some virtual. But Margaret said that probably a month from the event, within if it's a month or earlier, she could change the format of the event so it could be in person, which is great. And then you're going to see our timeline. There's going to be a teaser. Robert, you'll be happy. There's going to be a teaser in June, just about that voting's going to be opening up. And then you're going to see in July, August, you're going to see some heavy promotion to get nominate your coach, builder, student, or builder, athlete. It's going to be heavy in August, and then we'll be making decisions in the early fall. But really productive meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions of Mark? Okay, that sounds great. Yes, that's some great ideas. Item number 6 on our agenda, new business. I have nothing under new business to report. Virginia, other than that June is Parks and Recreation Month.
Dean, I have one thing if I may add.
Okay, certainly, Brent.
I'm sure I will probably be asked, but it was announced, and Councillor Shoemaker was there present last night as well. The Twin Pad was announced, the provincial combination of funding that came forward, and so everyone's very pleased with respect to that project moving forward of 18.3 million in grant funding that was announced last night. And I see Tracy has her hands up in the air right now with the addition of the walking track that'll also be part of the facility, and the Arena Bowl windows, which were also kind of key. So when you're walking around that facility, you'll also have additional light coming in, and so you'll be able to see the players. So that's a great addition that was allowed to be brought forth with that project. So very pleased to move that forward. And now the next steps are getting construction underway, awarding the tender, and then the construction, I should say. So there's a few members here that are on the actual Twin Pad committee. I know Virginia sits on that as well, along with Councillor Shoemaker. I don't think I'm missing anyone else here, but anyways, just wanted to bring that to light. I'm sure everyone already heard about it in the media, but it's a big win for the city moving forward.
Yes, congratulations on that. That's great.
Congrats, Brent. I was so happy when I saw the media release.
Yeah, great.
Brent?
Oh, okay.
Brent, can I ask a question?
Certainly, Chris, go ahead.
Is there a timeline for when they're going to start construction and a potential end?
Yeah,
or,
we had about I think it was 3 or 4 meetings today on this topic already. So on this, we've already talked to our proponent, our partner in this, our consultant is IDEA and N45. So they'll be issuing the letter today to the successful firm Ellis Don, who will be moving forward, and then we'll look into start construction as soon as we can. And then the goal will be late fall next year. We're looking probably that November type area, late October, beginning of November, late fall for the completion of the facility. So it would really allow us, we have to get through get through this season here, right? And then next year. So that Meakin will be able to operate in tandem with the existing build that's going to be happening as well. And we built that as part of the plan moving forward so we could allow the least interruption possible to service to all the groups that we provide arenas to moving forward. So hopefully next fall, we'll be able to have that facility open for the city.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Robert, did you have a question?
Oh, yes and no. I was glad to hear it this morning on CBC when I woke up. It was on the news right away, and that was a good way to wake up this morning. And a couple things. One is, was there ever any discussion about extending that one extra third on the soccer field there? Brent?
Yeah, Dean, that was in the earlier discussions through the planning phase and the demand. We reached out to the different soccer associations, and at that point it was determined not to expand the third pitch as part of this project. The demand just at that point didn't warrant that investment, and they wanted to have the focus on where the demand was and with respect to the two pads that were deemed needed for the city.
So it's still on the back burner though, right?
Yeah, it can always be explored further. There is the space still there. So on the build, you'll see in some of the pictures, it's actually going to be north of the existing facility. So the room where the twin or for the third pitch would still be available on that piece of the property. So that it doesn't prevent that from happening.
Are there any plans or pictures or anything that we could see that you could share with us of what's going to go up there?
Yeah, it's Robert. Yeah, it was right in the council package last night. So that is online. If not already, it should be online for the council package right on the city website. So if you go there and you look up the Twin Pad project, there will be pictures there. There was the council report from last night plus 2 prior reports. So it showed all the renderings of the pictures of the building, which you can look at right there. And if you have any challenges, so you can touch base with myself, Margaret, or Virginia, we could can make sure you get that information. But it should be right on the city website.
Now, I guess a question to Dean or to any of you really, is there going to be like a subcommittee set up or sort of I don't know, be part of the planning steering committee of this project? Anyone can answer that?
Did you want me to take that, Dean?
Sure. Yes, please.
Okay, so Robert, through this, we do have a mix of councillors, Councillor Shoemaker and Councillor Gardy, along with city staff, are working on that project. The design is complete and it's going out to tender. So the design's already complete. So it's being built now. So it's not, the specs have already been complete with IDEA and N45 that specializes in arenas. So the arena has been developed already, and there have been input to various groups as well along the way. We've kind of kept PRAC informed. We've been to the accessibility committee a number of times and other groups as well for consultation, all the user groups throughout the city. I believe there's over 30 user groups. We had sessions at the Memorial Gardens for those user groups as well to have input into the process. So we did quite a bit of consultation for things that they would like. Within the facility, it was noted we have 2 fully accessible change rooms as the 10. We have community space on the 2nd level. Again, the walking track was an additional feature that people had introduced. They thought was very popular. Last year alone, in 2019, we had approximately 17,000 walkers at the NCC. Last year, it was down a bit due to COVID. So there was a lot of community consultation, Robert, if that's what you're getting at into the build.
Yes and no. I remember when we built the soccer pitch and all that complex there was a steering committee, and that even I think I was the only one that was representing PRAC that was part of that steering committee, and I had just got on PRAC at that time, So I got on, I don't know what happened before that, but anytime, there was a certain during the building of that, I, along with a number of other people, were called upon to go and view and ask questions as the process developed.
Yeah.
Is that a plan to have a member of our committee?
Well, yeah, notice that we actually have three kind of on there right now indirectly. We have Councillor Shoemaker, who sits on that committee, who's part of PRAC right here. We also have the resources of myself and Virginia McLeod and called upon Margaret as well. So we'd have 4 people that come to this meeting regularly that would be on that, and Councillor Shoemaker is on both, so he could be a conduit for that as well.
Okay. I was just wondering, like, you guys pretty well, like Matthew, and is it a counselor? You're a city staff, Virginia city staff. The rest of us here are just normal, ordinary citizens.
Yeah, at this point, Robert, yeah, the build has been, the project's been approved. So the designs has been approved by council at this point. So they're actually going to do construction at this point. So.
Oh, that's fine. I was just asking, I was just wondering, I'm not pushing for it. I just thought, it had been done in the past, and I was just thinking, I thought it was not a bad idea, because sometimes some things that, you're right in it, you know the old line, you can't see the forest for the trees. When somebody comes from outside, did you think of that? Did you think of that? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But that's fine. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to raise a fuss about that at all.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Brent. Are there any other comments or questions? Okay. I think that we'll be listening from either Margaret or Virginia on the Elliott Sports Complex report. That's again exciting news for some keen pickleball players in the community. Go ahead, Virginia.
Yeah, so just a bit of an update. We're working through the getting ready for the construction phase of the pickleball court. So there's going to be 8 courts in the parking lot at the Elliott Sports Complex, and part of the project is to upgrade the washrooms to make them more accessible and add an outdoor drinking fountain, water bottle filling station at that location. So is to look at making it more of a hub, especially during the day. We're hoping that we'll be able to do some of our programming for our 55 plus there during the day because of proximity to the Northern Community Center. And yeah, so we're looking forward to the project and getting the upgrades done to those spaces.
And Virginia, if I may ask, is there a completion date to hope for?
We're hoping that we'll have everything kind of wrapped up by the end of July. That's our target, but our parks crew does have a number of projects underway. So yeah, that's what we're aiming for. But
okay, well, that's great news. Any comments or questions on that, Chris?
Yeah. So Virginia, I'm aware of the parking lot. Is there still going to be parking spaces with the pick? Like you're going to kind of like divvy it up kind of thing?
Yes, so it's going to be closer to Rossmore Road, trying to spread out the parking between the baseball diamond that's in the lower section, soccer, and pickleball. And Margaret, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we did the site visit, I think we'll still have about 200 spaces. Right now, it's just a large open space without the stop blocks in place to kind of delineate parking spaces. So we're looking at putting in the stop blocks so that people will actually have rows coming in, and it'll be a little bit more organized from that standpoint than it is now. So there definitely be ample parking for all of the different types of activities that'll be taking at this place at the site.
Thank you.
The other feature of Virginia that will separate the users, is at the pickleball area, there will be a paved pathway from those courts at that side of the facility down to the service building. So those people will not be walking through the parking lot that soccer or ball players are coming to park in. So there is that conscious effort to separate uses and make it a safe and enjoyable place.
Thank you, Margaret. Any other comments or questions on that? Okay. Tracy?
Dean, can we go back to 6.1 for a second?
Sure.
Just a question, with the government opening up some stuff, did the splash pad, is that on the agenda? Like, is that opening up this month?
Dean, did you want me to
Yes,
respond to
please,
that?
Margaret.
Preparations are underway for opening up the splash pad, as we have traditionally done, and we will be opening it on June the 12th for limited use, and June 14th with a few more users. But parks are in the preparation stages for that opening as well.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. And we're done with our pickleball. Item 6.3 is going to be Virginia, the Hub Trail Challenge. And Virginia, I'm going to forward you this newsletter contact, and you may have it already with Cindy Pruce, but the cycling club has well over 200 members now, and it would be a good venue to promote the Hub Trail Challenge that you're planning again.
Okay, that'd be great, Dean. So just a little bit of an update. Last year with COVID, we made a bit of an adjustment to our Hub Trail Festival, which was usually a one-day festival, and we spread it out over the month of July and into August. So our plan is to do the same type of COVID-friendly event this year, encouraging families to get out, explore the Hub Trail. There's going to be, this year, it's going to be more trivia-based. So there'll be signs located throughout the Hub Trail that'll have trivia questions, linked to, healthy active living, how long is the Hub Trail, those just kind of type of fun activities. And then individuals or families can submit their completed cards to the city, and they'll just be entered into a random draw for participating. So yeah, and we're thankful for some of the sponsors that are coming on board donating some of the gifts, and they'll be featured in our posters as well. So yeah, keeping it the same as last year. It was well received, and hopefully it'll grow a little bit again this year.
So just to recap, Virginia, the event is it going to be a 2-week-long event?
Month long. So
1 month, okay.
Yeah, last year, so it'll be pretty much kickoff for Canada Day and run the month of July.
Okay, I'd also like to report that Jumpstart at Canadian Tire are quite interested in participating again as usual.
Oh, awesome, great, thanks, Dean.
Okay, any other questions or comments about the Hub Trail Challenge? I'm looking forward to the day when we can have an original Hub Trail Challenge with stations and talking to our friends and families and seeing how all those kids have grown, but that'll be hopefully next year. Okay, moving on to item 6.4, the James Street revitalization update.
Sorry.
Was this be Virginia or Brent? Virginia.
I was just going back to the Hub Trail Challenge, if you don't mind me interrupting, Virginia.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just saying, you said let's go back to the original way. I'm thinking it's becoming so popular and people are walking it more and more and more. People are riding it more and more. And maybe just because if it's a one-day thing, that maybe we should have a certain time for people to walk and certain time for people to ride, so that we don't run into an accident or anything, anybody who were to get hurt. I know the bikers are not going to be biking at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but I mean, it's still, people aren't watching sometimes, and that's when accidents happen, So that's my only comment. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, that's good to hear, Robert, because you're at the top of my list for participating on the committee when we get back to that. Okay. Any other questions on the Hub Trail Challenge?
Just have a
Okay.
quick comment.
Oh, yes, Paul, go ahead.
Just a suggestion, maybe if we could put a little QR code on the signs this year. The way you can scan it with your phone and it would pull up a way to enter it online or whatever, right from your phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can check into that, Paul. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I know in the original planning of the Hub Trail and when they were marking and making the signs, they were talking about using QR codes, but it didn't come to fruition. But that would be something to be interested to ask about, and perhaps Steve Turkle would be the place to start with that.
Yeah,
And
I check into
Sorry,
that.
I think Nordic Research from Algoma U was part of that, Dean, with the
Oh, yeah.
with the QR codes on the trail, the hub trail markers.
Mhm. Okay, thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, I can check into that, Paul. Thanks for the suggestion. Might just be a way that they can quickly email their whole completed card into us that way.
Okay. Now, are we getting to James Street? Go ahead, Virginia.
I think so. So we're excited about the progress that we're making. Our Parks Department had started prepping the area for the new playground equipment to be installed. The phase 2 equipment, so council had approved additional funding in last year's budget for phase 2. The equipment has been ordered and should be arriving very shortly, which is a large climber for the playground area, as well as the extra surfacing. So that should be arriving within the next 2 weeks, just in time for them to be working on completing that installation. They're also working on prepping the areas for the skate park features and basketball court. And then I have some summer students we're going to be, once we're allowed to do painting again and engage the community, we're going to be doing art projects down there. So originally we were hoping that that was going to be in June, but we've delayed that till sometime in July, pending what stage we're in or step we're in at that point. So could be a little bit later in August, just because we have to be a little bit fluid and adjust with what's happening in the current state of our lockdown and restrictions. So yeah, so that'll be exciting. So you'll have to watch for more to come this summer at the projects that taking place at James Street.
Okay. Any comments or questions of Virginia? All right. Well, congratulations on that, Virginia. Item number 7 on our agenda, correspondence. Nothing. Okay. And we're moving on to item number 8, which is our next meeting, September 7th, 2021.
Dean,
Yes, Robert.
just make a comment. I forgot to, when I asked all those questions about the arena or the new twin pad, I forgot to pass on my congratulations to Matthew Shoemaker and Brent and Virginia and whoever else was on that committee, because that's an awesome thing, especially when you were able to squeeze out 18 million from the province. And I don't know if it's a ploy by the government at hand or our MPP, because there's an election coming up. But I'm glad we got it. That's for damn sure. That's all.
But certainly it has been a long time in the making, and congratulations are certainly in order for everyone. Okay. Any other comments or questions? No more questions, Robert? Okay. I'm going to ask for a mover to adjourn our meeting, please.
I will.
Okay, Tracy, and a seconder will be Robert. Thank you. And all in favor? All right. I can hardly wait till we can get back together and be in a room someday, but hopefully it won't be that long. Everyone have an enjoyable summer. Chris, good luck with your online learning and your education stuff. I can't believe how well you and the education group have been doing with this. It's certainly a real challenge. Anyway, everyone have a good summer. Thank you.
I just want to
Thanks,
everybody a happy birthday that's not having a birthday yet, especially Dean, because he's an old man.
Happy summer.
Thank
Thank you.